Well, it's happened again. New week has begun and we are still top of the league with Forest Green Rovers. Welcome back to our Zero to Hero series and part 14 with Forest Green Rovers, where we are still in some fantastic form. Kind of. Let's just have a look at what we've done since you were last with me. We've played through most of the month of November, starting with a 2-2 draw against Bolton. We're just going to ignore this result here. This result never happened in my book, but we did lose 2-0 to Eastleigh and get knocked out of the FA Cup in the first round. Somehow the board are actually okay with this, so we're just allowing it. We then beat Wolves under-21s in the Papa John's Nonsense Trophy. Drew with Yeovil, lost to Crewe, and then have most recently beat Tranmere. So, as I mentioned, still top of the league. The form in November's been pretty iffy, though, if we're completely honest. Today, we have to go and face Bristol City. If we have a quick look back at the table, we can see we are top, but we have got a game above most of the other teams, such as Preston and Bristol, who we play today. So a loss here could really impact our campaign. Preston can catch up with us anyway, but what we really need to do is, you know, have a good game against Bristol, and then we've got the second round of the Papa John's Trophy against Wycombe to play. We are directly then playing them in the league afterwards, but we're going to have a look at the Papa John's Trophy because why not? It'll be a bit of fun. We have also, for this match against Bristol, got quite a rotated team just to the fixtures coming really thick and fast. It is Brian in goal today, Smith, Okadina, Wiggett and Robertson as our back four, Nightingale and Jones in midfield, Bigotto, Konecki, Matt Donald and Robertson up front. We can kind of look at our bench and see even the players we've got on the bench aren't really all of that fit. So hopefully we just come out the gates firing on all cylinders against Bristol, and we're winning early on. So if we do have to make substitutions and bring on semi-tired players, it isn't as much of an issue as it could be. That's the plan anyway. Whether or not that actually comes about, and we do have the good match that we kind of need against Bristol, is a little bit of a different question, because as we've seen, that form in November, slightly iffy. I mean, it's questionable at best, really, isn't it? We've had some wins in there, we've had some losses. Probably, I'd say, our worst patch of the season. Thankfully for us, the teams around us have had the same sort of dodgy spell. It's like everyone's got to November and just got really tired. I think the fixture congestion is kind of having the same effect on everyone, which is injuries, fatigue, and just general poor performances. A ball into Robertson there from Nightingale. I mentioned it a few episodes ago. Nightingale is an absolutely fantastic signing, and it was absolutely the right decision to change that to a deep line playmaker, because that ball there is just, it shouldn't be happening in this league. That is far too good a ball there. Seeing the run of Robertson, picking him out, lovely stuff. We are 1-0 up against Bristol. Nightingale has been out of the team recently as well, through multiple things. He was off on international duty with the under-21s for England. He was injured for a little bit. He's been tired. He has not played as much as we'd like him to. And we definitely do play a lot better when we've got that midfield too of Sakti and Nightingale in there. Sakti not even on the bench today because he is just not fit enough to do it. Another ball there into Robertson. He isn't going to get on the end of that one though. It was a bit too far from him, that ball from Jones. And now Bristol City going to try and launch a counter-attack that we haven't really dealt with as well there as we normally do. Fagan Walcott there is the man that normally nods those away and protects our goalkeeper and the rest of our back line. Obviously, not even on the bench himself, I don't think, today either. Again, he's injured, so he's out for a few more days. And realistically, we're probably at the moment, looking at this, lucky to be winning, because Bristol City, far superior on shots, far superior on possession, and just about every other stat, really, apart from our one shot and our one clear-cut chance. But I do feel the need here to encourage the team a little bit and maybe go a little bit cautious. Robertson has just about got away with that tackle, managed to make it into a tackle, even though it looked like he was going to completely miss it to start with. But the ball into Bristol City here, that was very lucky that was offside, because they were through on goal, absolutely determined to put that in the back of the net. Instead, we just retain our slender 1-goal lead. We aren't really very good value for it today. But the best teams do grind out results. So if we can grind out a result against Bristol City today at the top of the league, I will 100% take it. Finney McDonald crossing this one into Bogotto, who does manage to get his head to it. Not able to direct it into the back of the net, though. Just in heading that one above, and we are getting more and more yellow cards here. I can barely keep up with him. Charlie Wiggett is the third player today to get a yellow card on our side, and we're now in the 76th minute with very, very little highlights in the second half, and it's probably time to make some substitutions. I think the first thing we do we bring off Wiggett? I mean, we kind of can. We'll bring on Aaron Pickles there. Nightingale is going to come off now because he's on a yellow card and also looking tired. Hackney will come on for him. Finney McDonald can come off as well, and Kabaya can come on that right-hand side. That's all we're going to do for the moment. We don't want to make all 5 substitutions at once and just completely turn the team upside down so they don't know what we're doing. But we've got no highlights there either. We're heading further and further into the end of the game. I think Bogotto can come off now. Oliver Iro can come on for him, and Konecki can come off, and Vangelis can play through the centre for the last few minutes of this tie. A tie in which, again, we are at home. We have been utterly dominated by Bristol City, and yet that's one very, very clear-cut chance by Robertson is enough that our fans are going to be going home today with a smile on their faces and 3 more points for Forest Green. That kind of sorts out the Bristol City having a game in hand problem. Preston have 2 games in hand and are only 4 points behind us. They're a little bit more of a problem if we're honest at the moment. I'm not sure when we're playing Preston next. Have we played Preston already this season? I assume we must have done at this point, but I don't see them unless we're... we're literally playing them here. I mean, it would be more interesting, realistically, to play through to the Preston game here. But I do kind of want to see how we do in the Papa John's Trophy. So we're just going to play that one because I feel like we're due a cup run. Even if it is this cup and it isn't all that prestigious, it would be nice to have some sort of cup run. Maybe even win a trophy with a club this season. That would be absolutely fantastic. I also think, just before we see this match against Wycombe, that January could be a reasonable size window for us. We're having a look at the dynamics. Luke McGee is on the transfer list. He wants to leave the club because he feels like it's time to move on for a new challenge. Kanate, we know about the permit issue, so he is hopefully going to be leaving the club. Callum McDonald wants to leave to get better playing time. Wiggett also wants to leave. I think he's actually under transfer offer at the moment, or maybe that's McDonald. Someone is. Baker Boasi wants to go out on loan, so he'll probably go as well. Tavares also on the transfer list, and Romari Ford, our on loan right winger, is also unhappy with his playing time. Today, though, we just need to focus on this match against Wycombe, and our team for today is as follows. It's Brian in goal, Sedon, Pickles, Matteson and Daly Campbell as our back 4. We've then got Nightingale and Suckdy in midfield, although I've just seen that Nightingale isn't fully fit. So maybe we put Hackney in there instead. We've got Iro on the left, Vangelis through the centre. Although, again, no, we can't put Konecki on because he's not fully fit. There was a reason I did this. Kabaya on the right and Robertson up front. There was a reason I put all this together. And then as I'm reading out the names, I'm completely ignoring all of the reasons that I put this together and deciding that instead I'm going to pick new players, and then realising there was a reason I didn't pick them in the first place. And that is, for the most part, they're not really fit enough to actually play 90 minutes of football. And if we're going to rest them, I'd rather we do it. Really, I'd rather we do it now in the Papa John's Trophy than in the league against Wycombe, because we do play them directly after this in the league. They are currently rock bottom in 24th, so you'd think in both matches we should be getting good performances. Suckdy here, just about controlling that one. Trying to play a ball in front of, I think that's Iro. It was Iro, but he didn't really run after it. I don't know if he thought he was offside. What happened there? Suckdy trying again now, playing this one in front of Vangelis, who is going to get there and does manage to get a shot on target, but the goalkeeper is going to be saving that one and putting it out for a corner. It should be, I believe, Hackney taking it. He's done well when he's taken corners recently, finding the head of Pickles mostly. This one's in looking for Matteson by the looks of it. Kabaya not able to get on the rebound, and now Hackney from the other side. This time it is into Pickles. It's like I knew what was going to happen. Hackney into Aaron Pickles. Aaron Pickles with his 4th goal of the season. All off of corners. All off of that exact set piece. Just into the near post where he waits. Kind of near post, kind of centre. But either way, with a very, very strong forehead and bundles that one into the back of the net. Sidon now with a free kick. It fell to someone there. I think that kind of fell to Kabaya and then fell to Pickles, and neither one of them managed to put it in the back of the net. But we are definitely looking fairly threatening here against Wickham. Maybe getting ourselves back to winning ways after the few matches we've had in November now with a win against Bristol City. That's probably raised the confidence massively given how well they are doing in the league and how poorly we've been doing in comparison this month. Although, as I mentioned, Bristol City not necessarily having the best time of it. They've had plenty of opportunities this month to overtake us, to cement themselves at the top of the league, and they haven't taken any of them, just letting us run free a little bit. Paul Robertson now passing this one back to Daley Campbell in the right back position, who is now going to plough forward in bags of space and then poke it forward to literally nowhere. There wasn't a Forest Green player there, mate. We're the ones playing in green. The clue is in the name. We are the green ones, not the red ones. Not really sure what he was attempting there. But we just ignore that happened as Wickham try and build a counter-attack, and Sukti regains possession here for us. Kabaya into Vangelis now, who has got a little bit of space. Is he going to go on his own? He is going to go on his own. He probably should have squared that one to Robertson, who was fairly open and could have just slotted that one home very, very nicely for us. But going in at half-time, we are fully in control of this tie at the moment, and 1-0 up against Wickham. If we could just keep up the same sort of performance in the second half, then it's going to be a very, very good match for us. Another free kick here for Sidon. Looking for someone. He's found Connor Mattison at the far post, and we are now 2-0 up, both off of set pieces. We do seem to be able to score set pieces with this team. We weren't able to manage that very well with Grimsby or with Taunton. So it is nice all of a sudden to see that we can actually score these set pieces. And they do create opportunities for us to put ourselves ahead in matches rather than just being essentially what they were at Grimsby, which was if we had a set piece, it basically meant it was a counter-attack for the opposition. Doing a lot better with them this season with Forest Green. Vangelis here regaining possession in the centre of the park, almost loses it, but Hackney is just there to sweep up the loose ball. Now Sidon on the left hand side, I believe looking for Iro, but it's a very, very poor pass again. Just really, really poor. We have managed to deal with the long ball forward from Wickham though. Daley Campbell over to Sukti. Sukti going to try and find someone through the centre. Kabaya is there in the box over to Oliver Iro, who just doesn't get enough power on that one to put it past the goalkeeper. Did all right with it. It was some nice build up. Just a bit of a lack of end product there. Vangelis is getting on the end of that one. Almost a third goal there from a set piece, but Wickham now on the counter attack. I mean, they haven't got a lot of men forward compared to our defenders, and that one has fizzled out very, very quickly. Do we think about making some substitutions here? Possibly. Aaron Pickles on an 8.1, but equally the most tired player on the pitch. So Charlie Wiggett is going to come on just so we can preserve Pickles for our next match against Wickham. And Konecki is going to come on for Vangelis as well. Much the same story there. We're just going to preserve him for the match against Wickham in the league rather than focus on this one. We're 2-0 up. We're looking good for it. I think we can afford to do that. We have got a couple of yellow cards just popping up here and there now. Oliver Iro's now on a yellow card as well. Whoa, that was a close shot. That was a warning shot across the brow there from Wickham. Let's just make a couple more substitutions. I mean, Kabaya can come off and Romani Ford can come on the right-hand side. Mattison's also tired now. We don't actually have anyone to bring on for him because all of our defenders are either injured or tired. So, you know, not ideal. Kanate can come on the left-hand side for Ira, though. He's going to make a very rare appearance. We're not really playing him unless we absolutely have to, or he's just coming on as a little bit of a bit part substitute at the end of matches because he's so unhappy. I just don't think he's playing very well. Sukti is going to come off now as well for Nightingale on our final substitution. So we just head into the final few minutes of this tie. If we could just regain the ball and go sit at their end of the pitch, that would be lovely. ball forward there. Sedon is going to pick that one out, and Nightingale now looking for a big ball forward again for Robertson, much like in the first match, and unfortunately not the same finished product as it was in the last match, but a lovely ball again there from Nightingale. He is fantastic. His vision is just amazing for this level. Paul Robertson here holding up possession, looking for Kanate over on the left wing. He has found him, and Kanate just going to hold it up now. Nightingale looking for a goal of his own. Not going to find that one. He can pass well. Shooting, not necessarily his strong suit by the looks of things. And we have headed into additional time of the second half now. Wickham haven't really been in it much at all. We've kind of completely controlled this half. We are very, very happy with that. We got our 2 goals off of set pieces. I say they haven't been in it. That is why they haven't been in it. Absolutely skied that shot. Not that they were getting back into the match at this point. Not by any stretch of the imagination. But you'd still hope when your strikers through on goal, you would be doing a little bit better than that. Lovely time wasting there by Brian. And now we're just going to, I'd imagine, keep hold of the ball for the next 30 seconds or so. Kanate looking for Konechny. Nightingale, beautiful ball forward to Robertson. His control just lets him down. Romari Ford puts it back into the box, hoping to find Robertson the second time, but just finding a Wickham defender. That was another lovely, lovely ball there from Nightingale. I think he might be my favourite signing from this season. Let me know down in the comments below if you have. What is your favourite signing that we've made so far for this Forest Green side? We have made some good ones this season. I feel like we did well last season with some of the picks that we got, given the transfer budget we had, or the lack thereof, the transfer budget we had. But this season, it's really, really good. I'm very, very happy with it. It does mean as well, we're going to progress to the next round of the Papa John's Trophy. Hopefully, we're going to get that draw soon. I can just show you who it is before the end of the video. Well, it's an interesting tie. Forest Green Rovers against Chelsea under-21s being played at home. I don't know if that's always the case with the under-21s. I'd assume it is. A bumper crowd is expected for what is undoubtedly going to be a fascinating and hard-fought tie. I mean, it's interesting. When's that match happening? I'd kind of like to see that on the channel as well. It is happening down here, so potentially then we come back in January. We'll have a look at maybe like Chesterfield and the Chelsea under-21s, or Chelsea under-21s and Lincolns or something, and we can kind of see what we've done in the way of transfers as well, or what we will do throughout that month. I think there will definitely be a little bit of transfer activity. If you have enjoyed today's episode though, please do drop a like down below, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and thank you for watching.